afternoon. This is Derek Chamblee, broadcasting from Chamblee, Atlanta, the next great American city. Battleground Zero, the epicenter of the 2017 civil defense of the United States of America. Still a beautiful day here in Chamblee, Atlanta, real sunny, a few clouds, and it's winding up on 2:30 in the afternoon. It's still Friday, August 4th, 2017, and we've got an article today in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Subheadline, 6th District, and the headline, Handel gears up for next campaign. Subheadline, she begins fundraising for 2018 race. Ossoff ponders another run. It's written by Greg Bluestein. And we're going to start at the top, but before we do that, we want to remind you that Chamblee, Atlanta is the site of the 5th Congressional District of our Congressman John Lewis, who is a Democrat, who our current president says is all talk and no action. This is Derek Chamblee, CYRADYO, CyberCitizen Network, all talk, Trump executive action, and it's also the seat of the 6th Congressional District of Georgia, and that exciting, most expensive congressional campaign for U.S. Congress in history. On the 20th of June, Karen Handel, the former Georgia Secretary of State, won by 4 points over John Ossoff, the Democrat, in a very tight race, actually, decided by a vote that came out of Cobb County late, and we question that. We question why, historically, over the years, that Cobb County, which is heavily Republican, and the difference in the Cobb County vote when it came across after it seems like the Cobb County election officials withheld their numbers until the numbers from the other counties, DeKalb and Fulton County, came in that have more of a Democratic vote, and the votes released, tabulated and released results from Cobb County at approximately 9:45 election night, June 20th, catapulted Karen Handel into a lead that could not be overcome. And at that time, CNN projected that Karen Handel would win. But we made a projection the night before, on June 19th, that Handel wins the 6th District based on what was going on with the theft of the voting machines in Cobb County, based on prior to the November election, presidential election of 2016, Homeland Security was credited with hacking the Georgia election bureaus, and there's still been no answer from Washington on that one, which happened under the Justice Department, Federal Election Commission under our former president, Barack Obama. And at any rate, so we're going to take the article from the top. She was welcomed with an introduction most of the audience had never heard before. U.S. Representative Karen Handel, victor of the most expensive U.S. House contest in history, wanted to be a pro football player as a kid. Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to skip down later in the article. Here we go. And it's got a picture of Karen Handel, big smile and everything, and she's our new congressperson here. And later on in the article, she's basically saying she's already fundraising, setting up things in Washington as well, and she says that the Democrats were hungry for, quote, revenge, unquote. And it goes on that at any rate, we'll pick up about Ossoff here. He's considering making a comeback. He's considering running again. And here we go. She could very well face a rematch against Ossoff. He's expected to announce his decision within weeks, and he's dropped hints about a comeback. And if he runs, he'll have a built-in organization, sky-high name recognition, and a donor list so voluminous it makes national candidates jealous. Oh my. And at any rate, later on in the article was something interesting here. Okay, we're going to pick up a quote of John Ossoff. He's had okay, here we go. And at a recent Georgia Voice Bash, where he was named, quote, best politician, unquote, by the newspaper's LGBT audience, he had sharp words for Trump, a decidedly different tone from his campaign against Handel, when he was more reluctant to aggressively attack the president. This is from Ossoff, quote, in one of history's great democracies, a patriotic country that was born of resistance to foreign interference, a weak and dishonest man has cheapened the presidency and compromised the United States, unquote, Ossoff said. Quote, and he has compromised the United States in the eyes of our allies and adversaries alike, unquote. Oh, wow! There you have it from John Ossoff. And we want to reiterate that we fully expect the special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation to exonerate President Trump of Russia collusion and justify former FBI Director James Comey. And in our other broadcast, we bring out that the continued focus of the Democratic leadership on the Russia story in the major media on the Russian story, without preparing for the 2018 and 2020 re-election of our current president Donald Trump, is a waste of their focus. It's a waste of their resources, and we want to point out again, and the president pointed it out last night in a rally in West Virginia, Huntington, West Virginia. The Democrats have no vision, they have no issues, they have no agenda, and we said before, we know about the Republican GOP agenda. Where's the agenda of the Democrats? And it's a valid question, and the president is calling the Russia thing fake and fabricated and things of that nature. It's just a master fake that our current president is putting on the Democratic Party and Pelosi and the Senate, Schumer of New York. All they have time to do is play around with the Russia thing and impeachment. And we want to reiterate, our current president Donald Trump will not be impeached by the anti-Trump Republicans he made a great deal with just prior to the Republican convention in 2016. He gets the nomination. They won't strip delegates from him, and they get their Republican GOP agenda, and they get to stay in power. They get to be reelected, and if they weren't running for reelection, the president said it about a week ago. He said they rode in on his coattails, and even if they weren't running for reelection, he made sure that they still had majorities in the Senate and the House. And it's time for them to go back to the drawing board, get some Democrats aboard. We mentioned that before, that the U.S. Senator of West Virginia is a Democrat, and the president has taken that state handily, and he's back doing rallies in West Virginia, and the Republican senators need a few more votes from the Democrats. Go back to the drawing board, for instance, with the health care plan, and present a health care plan with some support from the Democrats that our current president can put the Trump brand on. Put the Trump brand on. Okay, so get to work. As you go back for your recess, which started today, have some town hall meetings, have some rallies in your own district. 2018 election cycle started already with, for instance, Karen Handel, who was just elected June 20th from the 6th Congressional District of Georgia. This is Derek Chamblee, broadcasting from Chamblee, Atlanta. Battleground Zero, the epicenter of the 2017 civil defense of the United States of America. CYRADYO, Cyber Citizen Network. Thank you very much.